them how to put an end to those heathens.
Yes, couldn't get better.
Ah, so you Christian knights want to go to the Holy Land, huh?
We will reclaim the Holy Land.
Oh yes? Is that so, my friends? Well, you have to be traversing the Arabian desert, and your little monk friend over there looks very, very tired, my friend. How are you going to do this, huh?
Nonsense. The Lord shall sustain us.
Ah, you don't know who I am. My name is Lord Saladin, and I'm the leader of the Arabic armies. And together we will fight you all and stop you from your holy crusade. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stone to Steam, where I'll take you through all of history from beginning to present times. And in our last installment, I'm sure you all remember Jan Prakash as we visited the Shaolin Temple. I have some sad news, is that Jan Prakash died a few years after the performance, ever since you time travelers visited him. But as history shows, is that the old must go out and the new must come in. And so we go forward in time to 1189, to the Third Crusade. So back in Europe, in the Middle Ages, there was these things called the Crusades. And funny enough, back then they didn't even call it the Crusades. It's more of a modern term. But ever since Christ was born in the 1st century AD, his followers subsequently after his death wrote down his teachings into what is called the Bible today. And so of course all these events and where Christ played out his life happened in the Holy Land, as we call it, or the Middle East. And so naturally the forces of Christian Europe felt that they wanted to keep and control the Holy Land in their control. Because ever since the 7th century and the Islamic conquest westwards, Jerusalem had been controlled by the Islamic Caliphate. And so, interestingly enough, in our last performance, Jan Prakash, the year was 1096. That was the same time that the First Crusade was proclaimed by Pope Urban II of Rome. And so, Pope Urban thought that he could rally and unite the whole of Europe and stop these kings with their petty little feuds and unite the whole of Christian Europe against the Arabic Caliphate and reclaim the Holy Land for Christian Europe. Ah. That is better. So, my friends, before we start, I think there must be you must learn a thing or two about Islam, yes? So, my friends, their silly little religion, Christianity, founded in the 1st century with the followers who wrote the Bible. But I tell you, my friends, fast forward to the 6th century and the Prophet Muhammad was born. And the Prophet Muhammad had a great vision and was spoken to directly by Allah, or God, in other words. And so Allah told Prophet Muhammad what the way is, and so Prophet Muhammad's followers subsequently wrote down what we call Al-Quran, the sacred text that all of us Muslims follow today. And I think it's much better book than your one, huh? So, my friends, we of course see these crazy Christian armies coming in to invade the Holy Land to take Jerusalem from our control. So in response to this, we need to forge an army to go and fight them in battle. Alright, so I will be needing a few volunteers. Anybody want to volunteer to fight in our army? You over there, come along up front. Excellent. You will make a wonderful soldier one day, my friend. Alright. And any more volunteers for the army? You there, come. Come on up, my friend. Any more volunteers want to join the Arabic army? I see, you think you have what it takes to join? Huh?
I do.
I like that attitude. Come on up, my friend. Excellent. So, with our army over here, we have to train you all to go fight the Christian Crusader Knights, alright? So before, we must get you in your attire, alright? Alright. So, gather around over here.
Take a
Who
look,
wants to wear
Merlin.
the hat?
A bunch of children. We shall defeat them. On to the Holy Land we go.
We will have to stop this army, my friend.
March on, Merlin. For the Lord.
Where this one over here?
Hang in there, old chap.
Ah,
We'll be there shortly.
my soldiers, to practice what we're going to learn, I need you to taunt the enemy, alright? Sorry, Crusaders, keep walking. The intelligence giving me trouble.
Such a long journey to the Holy Land.
You will wear the helmet, my friend. Army, yes.
You're right there, sir.
Alright, army, initiate plan A. Go! Yes,
Barbarossa, no!
While that you feel the winds of Arabia blowing at you. Blow harder, my friend. Blow at them.
Keep walking, Merlin.
As we see, they've dropped their German king Barbarossa in the river. He's drowned. Alright, my soldiers, what that? Come back.
March on, Merlin. March on, we're almost there. Remember, Merlin, we're doing this for the Lord. For a good cause. Glad at the first.
Alright, soldiers, initiate plan B. Go!
Walk on, Merlin.
Oh, that's heat.
I feel the great heat, the heat of Arabian desert.
Not nothing, sir. I think I can go on anymore.
No, Merlin. Don't give up.
Rap, my friends, make it hot.
Think of your treasures in heaven, Merlin.
Oh, heaven can wait. For another day. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You'll have to carry on now.
We're making one of them go. Excellent. Right, my army, other back. Wait, you, I see you're still a marching, huh?
Me and Sir Richard, we're still strong. For the Lord. We will never go down up until we conquer Jerusalem.
Alright, fine. Sometimes strategy is overrated. My soldiers, to arms! To arms! Grab your swords! Grab your swords!
Steady.
Well done, my army! Well done! Come gather around. My ladies and gentlemen, give my army a wonderful clap.
Woohoo!
Army, you may go sit down.
Woohoo! Oh no, he's dead.
What a great victory! What a great victory for Arabia! See the cup? My army, you served very well. They made me so proud. Give them one more hand. So now that we've defeated the Christians, we can now move on to... Who said that? I said that. Dead Knights Templars talking?
Over here.
Oh, Richard the Lionheart. I nearly forgot about you. Ah, Richard.
Saladin, you will never defeat us knights, and we will conquer Jerusalem.
Ah, Richard, can't you see your army is in disarray?
Well, your army is also disbanded as well.
Army, fine, yes it is.
Saladin,
It's Saladin, not Saladin.
never mind. Lord Saladin, you've been a worthy opponent.
Yes, I know I've been a very worthy opponent. You know what, Richard, you've also been a very good worthy opponent. You've given my soldiers a great battle, very, very hard to defeat.
Yes, I say. Saladin, I tell you what. How about we do a duel?
Ah, yes. Who wants to see me and Richard do a duel? Ah, all right. Give a cheer for Saladin. Saladin!
I say, give a cheer for Richard the Lionheart.
I like your beard.
All right, Richard. Ready?
Bare fists, I say.
Bare fists. All right, let's do this.
1, 2, 3. Oh, dear.
Where is the dramatic music? Yes.
You'll never defeat me.
I will defeat you, Richard.
Why don't you guys have a dance battle?
What did I hear there?
A dance battle!
A dance? I'm far too tired.
Yes, I'm also too tired. Huh? Dance battle. Yes, come on, give us a dance battle. Who said that?
Dance battle!
Dance battle!
Kind Richard, let's be like good gentlemen and do a dance battle.
I say, what is dancing?
This king doesn't know. Can somebody come up and give an example to teach
Oh my
Richard?
word, they're flossing in the 16th century.
Is that what you call dancing?
Very nice. Well done. Give her a little hand. Yes.
Woohoo!
All right. So, you want to do a dance off? Yes, I see. All right. DJ, cue the music.
His income's very good.
This is how you dance in old England, I say.
It is so boring. It's haunting me now. Let me show you what real dancing is. This is how we dance in Arabia. Yes, move the belly.
What is this disgrace? You dance like a lady.
You are a lady, King Richard. Now go behind my head.
Oh, no!
And ready? How is this? You like how we dance in Arabia? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think did better dance, huh? Me, Saladin. Yes, give a cheer for Saladin.
No. Give a cheer for and a lovely big clap for Richard the Lionheart.
All right.
Oh.
Ooh. All right, my friends. So, you know what, Richard? I admit, you're a good fighter and a good dancer, yes. I think we can make a truce, yes?
Yes, I say maybe that's a good idea.
Since I still have Jerusalem in my control, how about we say that your Crusader army will leave on the condition that we will grant all pilgrims safe passage to Jerusalem. How is that? Is that the deal?
Fine. I will retreat my armies in exchange for safe pilgrimage for all of pilgrims in Jerusalem.
Excellent. Can we shake on it?
Yes.
There.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Excellent.
You know what, Saladin? You've been an excellent adversary, and I think there's been no nobler, sir, than you.
Thank you, Richard. You've also been an excellent fighter. I have a lot of respect for you, my friend.
Yes. And I promise here this day for some time in the future, I shall reconquer the Holy Land and Jerusalem in the future.
Richard, if some sort of a caliphate and a king tries to overthrow me, I think the Holy Land will be in no better hands than in yours.
Oh, thank you, old Sally Pal.
Okay, that is good course. Right, excellent. Well, now that you have a deal, we should, you have a long way back to go.
Yes, we better get going. All right, well, thank you, Saladin.
Salahadin.
Bye.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the skit. Thank you very much. You can come back, my knights. Come back and face my army again. So it is true, it is very true that on the way to the Holy Land, the German king, Frederick Barbarossa, drowned in a river on the way. This was a great blow to the Crusader forces, and so of course they had no choice but to continue going under Richard the Lionheart's leadership. And as you saw, Richard the Lionheart, where is he?
You threw him away.
What's left of him? Richard the Lionheart gave Saladin such a fight, and Saladin, obviously being a merciful leader, spared a lot of his soldiers when they were in captivity. And so interestingly enough, you'll find that Saladin and Richard the Lionheart formed a unique sort of, well, for lack of better words, they became frenemies. And they would have a lot of respect for each other after battles. But did you know that Richard and Saladin never actually met in person? It was only through envoys that they got to figure out who they were. But through these envoys and messages, they got to understand who the other was. So another interesting fact, these are the days before telephone, of course. So they were never even able to speak with each other. And also, another thing, my friends, do any of you know how many crusades there were in history? Any idea? Any guesses? Yes? 4 crusades? Any other numbers to add to that? Yes? 5? 100. Did you hear that, my friends? 100 times you want to come and get defeated by me. Unfortunately not, Mara. There were not that many.
Too many.
So, there's another good answer. So did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that there were in fact 9 crusades? So at the time of our last installment, the first crusade, this was the one that set it all in motion, and it was very successful for the Christian Knights. They captured Jerusalem and held it for many decades. But eventually, Saladin would reconquer Jerusalem in 1187, and this sent a shockwave throughout of Europe. Saladin had hopes that by allowing a safe passage for pilgrims into Jerusalem, that he would secure peace with the Crusader Knights. But he was wrong. And come 1189, and the new Pope had issued the next crusade, the Third Crusade. But of course, as you've just seen, the Third Crusade played out a lot less successfully as the first one. They made it this close. Richard the Lionheart was very close to reaching Jerusalem. But through mutual respect and exhaustion, the Crusading Knights thought that they would return back without Jerusalem. And interestingly enough, the Saracens and the Frankish Knights and English Knights as well literally sat for 6 months in stalemates, not knowing what to do. And that's why we found that eventually negotiations were open, and well, we became frenemies, all right. He was a good man. So yes. And I find that it's very interesting to note that 9 crusades. Most of the following crusades in the following centuries would be mostly failures for the Christian Knights, never being able to capture Jerusalem, or at least if they've taken it, only hold it for a few years until they've lost it again. And I find it interesting to note that the Third Crusade is one of the more noble crusades, with 2 famous adversaries fighting head-on. The rest of the Crusades, well, who remembers them? Do you remember them? But maybe in future performances we'll touch on them. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the performance. And now, if you'd like to join me at the table for part 2 of the performance, I'll take you through my table of history with some days that changed the world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And give my Christian Knights a hand, yes? Well done. Well